Good evening, Gotham. I see that you are here to find out what the late night enforcers found out about Batman. Well, I'm here to interrupt their interruption of your little lives. I too am here for the Batman, but I'm here for one reason for the Batman. I'm going to end him, and it will be tonight. All right, you take over.
It's so cute when Deathstroke shows up to our live streams, isn't it? I enjoy it. Good evening, everybody. We are live for the Batman podcast and the Halo 5 giveaway. Oh, crap. That is outstanding. We have a whole bunch of fun feedback. Yay!
You can mute that. That's what I had to do on mine. All of a sudden, it starts screaming back at me, and I was like, what the fuck?
Podcast and the Halo 5 giveaway.
Okay, I could still hear us, but not you.
That is out.
You got to mute the YouTube channel, not the. This is fun. This is live. This is everything that we wanted it to be. This is great. Oh my God. Hi everybody. I hope this is turning out better than I think it is, which probably is not. Fucking live TV, man. This is how it goes down.
Live internet. My dumbass forgets to mute the freaking YouTube window. That is awesome.
I did the same thing, man. Don't worry about it. All of a sudden, I'm screaming back at myself.
Well, at least I'll be able to edit around all of that. Yay!
Editing!
We'll fix it in post. Oh, man. What's going on, everybody? We've got a fun evening for you tonight. We're going to discuss all 4 Batman Arkham games. We're going to start. You know what? Ian's probably got the same mind of this. He and I haven't really discussed how we're going to do it. We thought about planning it out and writing it out. But in true late night enforcer fashion, we just going to wing it because that's just how we do.
Now, one thing I do want to throw out there, and I am interrupting my boy here, there is one game that we're not covering in the series because it's not a mainline game in the series, and that is the Blackgate 3DS game. It did get ported over to the PC. I have purchased it, but it's not technically, well, technically Origins is not a mainline one because it's not by Rocksteady, but since it is a console-based or PC-based game and it's a major release, we're going to go ahead and cover that. But the little Blackgate thing, if you're angry that we're not covering it, that's fine. I could do a side-off review for you guys. There's a murderer peeping in your closet. Yeah, I even said that before we started.
I thought about Ian had the great idea to put a mask up in the window or something. Or
Freddy Fazbear's mask in the background.
Yeah. So like Ian said, we're gonna leave that one out, but we're gonna run through, and I'm thinking we do it in order of timeline, of legitimate timeline, not release. So we'll do Asylum, City, and then Night. We probably don't necessarily need to go too in depth. However, throughout, you might want to pay attention because there will be a trivia question at some point to provide the ability to win the copy of Halo 5 Guardians that we're going to be giving away. So pay attention.
Yes, and you can play it with us too. Yeah. What are you drinking?
In true fashion, I am sticking to the whiskey as wherever I place the frickin' bottle. I still have about amount left of my whiskey, of my K whiskey. I actually only drink this now when we do our stuff, and that's it. Other than that, I hardly ever drink anymore just because of how much I've been lifting.
Do you even drink, bro?
That would be an adequate question. Apparently not as much anymore.
Funkosity made it.
And he's in the chat.
Check that out. He's not shooting you messages directly. Holy fuckballs. You missed the fun. You are going to have to watch the beginning of this when we put it back up as open to the public because we fucked some shit up real bad. I mean, nothing broke technically, but it's,
Yeah.
We may have to not edit it now because I've said all that shit.
You know what? I don't think I'm going to edit it. I think I'm going to let it live in its splendor because I fully believe that is our best opening yet.
Yeah, I give you that. I should have prepared a little bit more. So now that you've talked about what you're drinking, I'm going to talk about what I'm drinking. I am drinking one of the most delicious pumpkin beers that exists on the face of this motherfucking planet, and that is Steve Arnold's Pumpkinator. I know. There's someone in the chat that's immediately going to start saying, yeah. But I don't care. I was lucky enough to actually get a hold of a case of these beers. That is 12 bottles of this much beer. And then I also bought another one, so I ended up with 13 because there's a local place that I didn't buy it from that I needed to let it breathe. Yeah, well, you're right. I'm going to let it breathe here in a second when I open it. But it is one of these things where I bought a case from a big. Let's see what face. Oh yeah, nice. I bought the big case from a big box store type of thing. So, and then there's a local group that always makes sure that I get my hands on one of these whenever it comes through. So I made sure to stop by their store and purchase it. Let's see. And the bottle cap says "Be Hoppy" because that's funny. So that is what I am drinking. This is only the second bottle out of that box that I bought or that I've drank so far.
I've got to figure out a new tagline to come up with for you for that shit because, you know, traditionally you get the pumpkin spice stuff and you're a basic white girl or, you know, a basic bitch or something like that. I've got to figure out something better for you because barf.
Go fuck yourself. Right? You know, I'm not worried about your input on this. I enjoy it, so you could just go suck a big old dick.
Thanks, buddy. Do what you do.
Yeah.
So just to kind of, before we jump into the Batman thing, is there anything else you've been playing recently that you've kind of been enjoying? I know, I mean, I'm kind of dwindling down on my Destiny run. I know you've picked up a little bit, but I don't know if there's anything else you've been playing. Any scary games you've been running?
So I put Slender off. Slender the Arrival. I stopped playing it on the live stream, and it was just because I was trying to save games to get closer to Halloween. I had actually planned to pick that up this. You might be able to hit me up directly. So it's one of these things where I wanted to make sure that I had spooky games for the closer we get to Halloween. Wednesday I was going to play a little bit Slender, but I had family show up in town, and sorry, but you know, family comes before entertaining a bunch of people with how much I hate that game. So this week, I will definitely play it on Wednesday night. I'm going to maybe try to work in one more night of playing it to kind of make up for it. And Sam's very angry at me. But I'll try to make up for it by playing twice this week on it, unless I'm able to beat it in one sitting. Then I don't fucking care. One thing I did do recently, excuse me, is I actually sat down and played through Halo 4 again, just to kind of get myself up to speed with the story of that game, refresh my mind and stuff. I also went on YouTube and looked up all the terminals, because in that particular game, there's the thing where you can find a little hidden Easter egg type shit, and it'll go to this like cutscene type thing. Almost, I want to say it's almost like the little discs from one of those Assassin's Creed games where it showed you some shit.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I understand the concept. I never played 4. Interestingly enough, though, the version that I downloaded, the pre-order download I have for Halo 5, has Spartan Assault on it. It's included, and it should be also included in the copy we give away. So essentially, there's going to be twofer.
Oh, check that out. You get the mobile game that has been ported to the Xbox One, and you get the game made from the ground up for the Xbox One. And you can play the assault game with the slick stealthy, and it will is top-down twin stick shooter. You use both your sticks to shoot. The accent has changed throughout this conversation. I think it started slightly Russian and now it's sliding into a Scottish accent. I don't fucking know what's going on. I'm just excited to be live in front of people.
Oh,
I think I broke it.
Sorry. Okay.
Whiskey. Whiskey does the body good.
Oh man, if my trainer's watching, he ain't gonna like that. Anyway,
That's all right. I'll just stand up and show him my belly.
yeah, man. So that's that. So let's actually jump into the Batman stuff. What was your opinion of Origins? I enjoyed it. There were a couple of boss fights I thought might have been a little bit OP, but otherwise, I thought the story kind of began well.
Hang on. You're going a little too quickly. Let's jump into this in a way that we kind of describe what Origins is before we jump into the review of it. So let's say, all right, so Origins is supposed to technically be the first one in the timeline. It's supposed to be the one where Batman's been doing this for like a year, and Black Mask has put together this group of assassins that he wants to come in and take care of the Batman because he's fucking his shit up. During the game, the Joker introduces himself for the first time in the Arkham storyline. I'm assuming this all happens in its own like storyline, pretty much. It's like nothing like really outside of it impacts anything, or
yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. A lot of it doesn't tie into the comic canon. It's very loose. I think it's just kind of a base. Hey, this is who everybody is, kind of thing. But otherwise, it's its own universe essentially.
And that's what I was thinking. And it's weird because we'll just dive right into it. So really, being the fact that I actually played these things in order of the chronological order, like I even went through and I found the date of the first achievement that I had in Origins and the date of the last achievement I have in Night. So it took me from June 7th to September 17th to get through all 4 games. So
that's not bad, because I know you couldn't stream a lot of it because you played the first 3 on PC, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, and I remember you didn't stream Night. You probably put a little bit of there up, but you didn't stream a playthrough like I did.
No, and it was primarily because of that asshat that popped into your stream the one night
Right.
when I had to banhammer him because he comes in and he just starts spouting spoilers. Speaking of which, real quick, before we go any further, you must know this will be a spoiler cast. We will be spitting hot spoilers. Flaming hot spoilers will fall out of my disgusting mouth and ruin video games that have been out for years and a couple of months. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind.
No, if you haven't played any of it, well, sorry.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So I thought just coming into it, like not having played Asylum and going directly into Origins, it was kind of, well, when it comes to the weird flip between the two, that was different. But I thought it was, I want to say I felt like that one was the smoother of the 3 until I got to Night when it came to the combat, because again, it was technically the one that came out before Night. I thought the story was okay. It wasn't something. Hey, check it out. Who's this? I can't read where.
Hey, it's DeMarcus. What up, Dre? How you doing, bro?
Where's my beer? DeMarcus! Howdy! You can't see my beer. My beer is just too damn dark. Here, let me put my white ass arm in front of it. Hello! Now I look dirty.
Oh man, I actually need more whiskey.
Okay, well, I'll keep talking while you do that. So I felt like that one was very, very smooth, very fluid. I really enjoyed it. The fact that was the first one where I got to do the glide mechanic, where you hook onto an edge of something, you double tap A and you move real quick. I enjoyed the mobility around the city, getting to everything. I thought that was really interesting. Didn't feel like I needed a motorized vehicle to get from point A to point B. More on that later. And so it was very interesting. The idea of Riddler having people like planted throughout the city that you could get, tell me where the the trophies are and shit along those lines. Those were really good. Now the boss fights. There's one in particular that I'm not too happy with. And if you had seen the beginning of our show where I donned the Deathstroke mask, you would know that the fact that the Deathstroke fight was very quick and mainly a QTE irritated the bejesus out of myself. Completely.
Yeah, it wasn't. I honestly thought you were going to go for the Bane fight just because that.
Hold on. That one has its own section that I'd like to talk about.
Okay. I the mechanics of the Deathstroke fight I didn't like. I thought it was all. I mean, it was all timing. It had its own pattern. No matter how many times if you effed it up the first 3 times and you came back to it, you're okay. I got this. I know it's this section. Once he does this, I've got to do these moves, and then he's going to be done in a couple of minutes. It's literally just a kind of wait it out until his health bar gets down type of fight. And as much as I like to give you crap with the whole Deadpool Deathstroke thing, I don't think that was befitting the character of Deathstroke or even Batman to have that fight interact in that way. So
yeah, shit. I feel like they gave Deadshot a better portrayal in these games than they did Deathstroke, because Deathstroke, it was like, I'm just a hulking assassin mercenary that's going to come in and beat the shit out of you, and I have one eye. You know, it didn't feel right for me, but then again, I'm biased.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that I do recall on it is, again, now I played these in the chronological order story-wise, not in the release order. So a lot of people were like, oh, the Deathstroke fight is so stupid. Well, actually, if you go back, the Ra's al Ghul fight, or Ra's al Ghul, how they were saying it in the games, was very similar to the Deathstroke fight. But that's in City, so that's a different conversation here in about a few minutes. Now, fucking Bane.
That fight, I think, had they released everything in chronological order, I think the Bane fight alone would have hardwired the double jump counter to the giant hulking dudes that you fight throughout the game into your person. And any game you play now, if you come up against somebody who's 3 times your size, you're going to just try and do a double jump counter over them to get around them. That's the only way that you beat that guy. And I get it. He's supposed to be magnanimously huge because it's fucking Bane. But at the same time, I thought he was a little bit OP, but I didn't hate the fight. It didn't really I didn't rage out at it.
Oh, I fucking raged. I fucking raged. I almost spiked a controller. I know how expensive these fucking things are, so I didn't. But it was one of these things where just the fact that it's like, okay, and I didn't even think, again, playing these in the order that I didn't think to jump over him, so I was always trying to jump out of the way, which, of course, he could turn on a fucking dime when he's, like, barreling down at you at 10 miles an hour, which makes no fucking sense.
And, you know, Batman being Batman, for some reason, when he dives one direction, he doesn't have the ability to quickly move in another direction from that first move.
Yeah.
He's agile, but he's not agile like a cat because, well, that's Catwoman.
Because he's a bat.
Yeah. He flies, kind of.
And what the fuck is he doing in that fight?
So, all in all, as far as my review of Origins, now Ian played through these chronologically. We're going to discuss them chronologically in terms of storyline. I played them in order of release. So I started with Asylum City Origins Night, which was weird, but I enjoyed it. The story for Origins itself, I thought, was a good opener. I thought it introduced all the characters that were going to be important throughout the rest of the series. As I'd already played it, it kind of brought a couple of things into play throughout the rest of the game, especially when it came down to City, and really more so Asylum than anything else, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed Origins. What annoyed me was the constant Batwing to a different area, Batwing to the different area. I do think that the challenge maps and the side, challenges that you get to go beat stuff up or do Predator challenges and things like that, I thought those were a lot more intuitive for Origins than the other games. Especially having done a little bit of a side competition with Arkham Knight, I think that Origins kind of took the big win in that area, even though they didn't have as many characters that you could play as for those side stuff.
Yeah. And I got to give Origins my props as well. It will always be a Batman game that's constantly loaded on my PC because the challenger maps in that, you could play as Deathstroke in 3 different outfits. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you can also play as Ninja Batman too. Ninja Bruce Wayne.
Oh, that's right. If you get the Cold Heart DLC.
Yeah, and he's got a couple of specific challenge maps in there that are pretty cool, where he's in a dojo and he's going up against ninjas and stuff, and that's cool. But there's when we get in tonight, not to foreshadow and jump a little bit, you can eventually play as all those characters. So I've been doing a lot of Red Hood challenges lately, and that's fun. I think his combat mechanics are some of the best, but that's jumping a little bit too far ahead. So all in all, though, how did you think about when it came to?
So going back and kind of sifting through more of the stuff that you're glossing over, I think it did do a really good job of kind of really introducing us to the Joker villain. The fact that this wasn't a Rocksteady game, but it seems like Rocksteady kind of took everything that they did and you know, molded it inside. Like I'm seriously curious as to if seeing the Joker as the Red Hood in Origins led to them doing what they thought of in Night, which we'll get to eventually. But you know, also with introducing Harley Quinn in the way that they did, you know, I watched the Batman animated series when I was a kid. I never remembered them introducing that character. It's just all of a sudden there she was.
They never gave any backstory in any of the animated series to Harley. This has been the first time, other than reading through comics, that you actually kind of get a little bit of the backstory as to how Joker and Harley got together and how crazy she is.
Yeah. And I like, that's one of the things that I really like about it too, is the conversation between Joker and Harley is he's talking about meeting Batman and she's thinking that he's talking about meeting her. And it was just, it's one of those things that kind of leads into the okay, so this is why she sticks with him, because she thinks all this time that conversation was about her when really it was about Batman, but he keeps her around as a toy, for lack of a better term. All in all, I'm sorry.
Joker, he's a master manipulator. I mean, that's his bag, really, is being able to manipulate anybody he comes across to do what he wants, even if he is an agent of chaos and he doesn't. If you look at everything, there is a plan that he has. The plan is psychotic and the plan is made up as he goes along, but it all kind of strings together to look like he just threw shit at a wall and it happened to stick in the right place.
And he's crazy enough to do just that.
Yeah.
So I would say, all in all, I thought Origin was pretty good. The fight with Firefly in that, though, was pretty lackluster, because I think it was very similar to the stuff in Night. And I'm sorry to kind of jump back and forth, but it seems like there's a lot of similarities between Night and Origins, where I think all you had to do is it was like a quick time event on a bridge, and then you beat him.
In Night, it was
3 chases.
Yeah, it was 3 chases, and then in Origins you only had to catch him in one spot, and then he was done. I think the reason that you get a lot of similarities between the two is because they came out together in such close proximity. It wasn't, they were like a year apart, maybe.
No, I think they were more than. I think they were a couple of years apart, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Let's see if I can't get to Steam while you're jaw-jacking about that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting some Facebook messages about I need the link and blah blah blah, because we got some other people that are wanting to jump in. So, anybody in the chat, remember, if you got questions, throw them out there. Just put it up there. If you got something you want to say, this is highly interactive. We like to do these specific ones on the big cast where we get people in to get your thoughts and tell us that we're stupid and that we're acting retarded and that we're drinking too much and whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Feel free to speak up those opinions. We're going to tell you you're fucking wrong, but feel free to bring those up.
And I promise I'm not going to get mean, or at least I'm going to try not to. I am on my second glass of whiskey, so I make no complete and utter in stone promises, but I do my best.
Okay. Origins was released on October 24th, 2013. So they were 2 years apart.
Almost 2 years, almost a solid 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's actually not bad. And interestingly enough, that shows good development time.
Keep in mind, Origins was not Rocksteady. I think it was Splash Damage. Let me double check that again.
And remember what Origins had the third person shooter multiplayer aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Splash Damage. Yeah, and that's not even anything that I plan on touching at all, ever.
I don't recommend it. I jumped into it a couple of times, and it randomly cycles you through being a bad guy, through being Batman or Robin, and it's too complicated to figure out how to play a match effectively.
Unless you got someone to carry you through it, like, I don't know, a Destiny raid.
Ha ha. Well, we gotta do that for you soon too, huh?
See what I did there?
So, but yeah, so that's why I never really enjoyed that part of it. But moving on into, because we've kind of covered Origins pretty well. I mean, the story itself was good. I thought watching the fact that it was Black Mask who was actually Joker, who ran the entire thing, and then I honestly I really like the cutscenes. I thought the CGI in that game was really well done.
I agree.
For those cutscenes. So sometimes I like to go and find the Deathstroke versus Batman train trailer when they do that fight, because I thought that was good. It's too bad I didn't live up to it in the actual game.
Yeah, right?
So,
One of the things that I did also, you bringing that up, made me reminded me of the interaction between Bruce and Alfred. For a good majority of that game, Bruce was kind of like, "Oh, give a fuck! My parents are dead. I'm gonna kick people's ass." And due to what Bane did throughout the game, you know, Alfred got into great danger. So it kind of made Bruce a little bit more of an actual human type character when he had to kneel down and be like, okay, I need to take care of this one guy. And then of course, well, I told you there was going to be spoilers. Don't get angry. And then, you know, the fact that what Bane figures out who Batman is, but then miraculously the Venom makes it so that he forgets it. Ha ha ha, I know. Good. Then quit calling me out on it. You're making me nervous, son. Making me nervous.
I wonder how loud his volume is. I'm sure he's probably got everything on headphones right now anyway, because they just had a kid. So, yeah. Asylum.
Asylum. So,
I want to jump on this one because Asylum was the first one that I played. It was the first one released. So, I really enjoyed Asylum from the get-go. And the time, it was the fact that it was a Batman game. Holy shit.
And it was a good Batman game too.
It had really good, the story was deep. It was, and I think because of the fact that it was the second game in the timeline, that's why I felt like it was deep. There was a lot of unexplained areas. There's a lot of Easter eggs running around through that game that a lot of people found. There's a couple that I never found. There's a lot of sneaky running around in Asylum because you're stuck on the island the entire time. The only time you really get to glide anywhere is when you go through that middle courtyard area, and even then, it's not that big of a spot. You got to drop snipers the first time you ever run into it. If you don't, you're screwed. So I really enjoyed it. And one thing I've always found interesting is that Bruce Wayne happens to have mini bat caves everywhere. Okay, who builds that shit? I understand the guy's a billionaire, but somebody, he doesn't build it himself. He doesn't go in there with a hammer and chisel and put everything in.
That one was actually explained in one of the comic books, and I'm not sure exactly which comic book it was. I want to say it was Killing Joke, but I'm probably wrong. He kind of glosses over it in the game where he's like, I got a bat cave here, and they're like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, I found this hole in the wall and slowly brought stuff in here and set up a cave. So, I mean, I kind of sort of, why am I getting the finger?
So I don't want to interrupt you because you're going into something that's good here, but I want to bring up something in the chat. Fungosity, I want to go ahead and ask you, how did you make it 30 minutes into Asylum years ago and then lose interest? I don't get that. So if you could explain that to me, that would be great. Ian can continue speaking.
I'm gonna go ahead and take Fungosity's side of the table real quick, because when I played the demo for it, it was the first sneak game I had tried to play since Metal Gear Solid 2. Sneak games make my heart like rush, and not in the, oh, this is fun, oh, I'm getting a little adrenaline rush. It's more of the, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die, oh shit, I'm too into it. So that's why I didn't touch it. But then, when I noticed that that game had the more sneaky out of all the games that followed, because there wasn't as much sneaky in the ones that followed after this one. It was because you were primarily in that one spot. They had to give you some type of a mechanic that made the game interesting. So I could definitely see it. I think if I had just only picked up that one game, there could have been a possibility of losing interest, because it's a very, that one specifically is very Metroidvania. It's go here, get this key or gadget that will help you open this door here. So go there, open that key or gadget. Oh, he's a run and gunner. Okay, well then, yeah, I guess a game like this wouldn't hold your interest, except for the multiplayer on Origins. But so tried City 2 and I got bored traveling. All right, that's it, dude. Get out.
Yeah. Bye.
Get out.
Bye.
You can't. No. You wait till we get to night and it's traveling.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I will let you whenever you get. Yeah, I would agree. It is surprising that you like Assassin's Creed, because you're having to travel in those a lot more the bigger they get. I will let you, the second you get an Xbox One, okay, I will let you borrow my copy of. No, I can't let you. I'm gonna have to. You're gonna have to let.
I will let you borrow my copy.
Ian's gonna let you borrow it, and you're gonna tell me how much you like traveling now.
In a car
that is a tank and runs over everything. It doesn't kill people when you run over it.
And Ryan drives into walls a lot.
I'm a lot better at driving in that game than you are.
Bullshit. All right, just because I don't have video proof of me driving around the city properly, there is no video proof of me going bam, 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 bam from wall to wall. Once I figured it out, I got good at it.
Admittedly, the first couple of times I sucked. It was like Far Cry 4 all over again. It was just in Gotham. Tree. Freaking Patrick Reynolds was loving it. But that's definitely a little bit. Okay, so back to what we were talking about with Asylum. I enjoyed the sneaky sneak. I understand the mechanic. I thought it was a really good story.
Yeah. Yes, Sam. He is the worst driver ever.
That's cute. That's cute. You too. Stop.
Yeah.
But what did you think about about the villains that you came across in Asylum?
Well, I really like what they did in Asylum with the little like tapes of the psychiatric conversations that were all over the place. Like I know they had those I think in City as well, but you had to really be looking for them. I did enjoy how you came across them and how you interacted with them. I'm trying to remember if there were any that were just kind of there and then gone and no real interaction with them. Like, because Poison Ivy, did you fight her in Asylum, or was it in City that you fought her? Shit, now I can't even fucking remember, because I remember playing as Catwoman in City. You fight her, but that's because of one of those stupid little fucking things that we'll get to here in a minute, but I can't remember if you fight her as Batman in Asylum.
Ivy? No. No, you don't. She's locked up somewhere in Asylum, as far as I remember, and you don't actually fight her. You only fight her a couple of times throughout the entire series, and I think the only time he really fights her is in Night as Batman. Because I don't think he doesn't really go after her in City. It's Catwoman.
Yeah, I don't even think you fight in Night her there because of other shit that takes place. And apparently Sam will get into an actual car with you, but if you guys are ever in a massive multiplayer online game like, I don't know, Destiny, she's not getting in your car. Or Halo. that matter.
I'll tell you what, when we do the Halo 5 thing, if we get to drive some Warthogs, I'll drive.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's great.
Hold on.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. Fungosity flipped his car last year, so.
Oh! Sorry? Didn't know. So you can't, it's not, sorry. But you're okay now. Yay.
He actually walked away.
Well, you're not supposed to walk away from an accident like that. You're supposed to stick around and wait for the cops to come by and make sure that everybody's okay.
Yeah, you should probably stick around for at least that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
So I thought Asylum was good. I thought it had the better story overall. I do hate that. Whoa.
What?
My system just dinged at me like real loud. Let me make sure.
I tagged you in a Facebook post.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I was just making sure that it wasn't somebody looking for the link. So the one thing that I didn't like about Asylum, and it does kind of go into Origins as well, because the big boss for Origins was a big Bane fight. The big boss for Asylum was a big Joker fight. And I'm not talking like a big Joker fight. I'm talking a hulking tank Joker fight, which boiled down to fight these guys for a couple of minutes, hit the Joker with your 3-prong thing and pull on him until he kind of falls down a little bit, until eventually he fell through the ceiling. That didn't seem like a Batman fight to me. I would have thought that by the time that fight would have come around, he should have had some type of serum that might have encountered that, or negated the Titan. What was it, the Titan, or was it the Venom? I can't remember which.
It was the Titan formula, because they renamed the Venom Titan, and because that was the classification, was the Titan formula, and Joker had misappropriated it into his own thing, and that's where they were all mutated. Because I thought that fight was weird. I know it set up the rest of the series as far as chronologically goes, especially with City, because that's what the entire game's based on that. But with Asylum, I thought it was just a little bit weird that you had like small T-Rex and giant Hulk arm type situation. I don't know. I didn't really dig that aspect of the game as far as mechanic wise, because fighting those guys was practically impossible.
Well, I mean, you got used to it relatively quickly. The shit that pissed me off was when they were like, all of a sudden, here's 2. Deal with that, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because then you're trying to like get it so that you can mount one of them and run the other one into the other one. Mount them.
Yeah. I don't know. That's why I really liked when you got into City and you got the freeze bomb. That is quite possibly my favorite gadget that he's ever had, because it helped if you can freeze a giant dude that drops into the fight, you're pretty much okay for probably 60 seconds to take out some more guys. Yeah. But I don't want to necessarily jump into City real quick. Now, were there any Easter eggs that you particularly liked? It's been so long since I played Asylum, I don't even remember any of them. But I don't know if there were any that were kind of popping out in your head.
Real quick though, Sam, the part that you're talking about is going to be in the 4th game that we're going to be talking about tonight, not in Asylum. He doesn't sting until the 4th one. Well, are you trying to give me a segue into doing the trivia question? Is that what's going on?
Well, I think we probably got all the viewers we're going to be getting tonight. So, yeah.
Okay, so here's the trivia question that can win you a digital copy of Halo 5 Guardians to be played with us. So pay attention. The first one to answer this question correctly gets the code. And it does tie into, it is an Easter egg that ties into Batman Asylum and City. So what was the last, or the hardest to find Easter egg in Asylum? We'll let that linger for a second while I turn on my ceiling fan, because it's getting fucking hot now that I'm drinking. I'll be right back.
I make sure to turn mine on before we got started with that. So remember, again, the question is, what was the hardest to find Easter egg in Arkham Asylum? And specifically, not just, oh, it was in this area or it was here. What was it? What did it allude to? Go. Yeah. While I drink my whiskey. Because drinking whiskey is good. It's good for the body. I really think so. Oh, man.
Okay, I'm back. Oh, that fan feels so good. If you guys start to...
While we're waiting on some people to Google the answer, how's the fan in your car?
Not fucking working. I haven't had a chance to get it fixed yet. And with all this rain that we've been having lately, I miss drinking. My windows have been fogging up horribly, so I've been wiping down my windshield so that I can drive. And I'm not talking about the outside. I'm talking about while I'm driving, I'll grab a towel and wipe down the inside of my windshield so that I can fucking see while I'm driving.
Calendar Man?
Nope.
Nope.
That's not the one.
Fail. Continue.
Listen, I'm working on homework. I give no shits which game you're talking about because y'all have been bouncing around more than a crackhead. Anyway, so there. Crackheads don't usually bounce around. Meth addicts, on the other hand, they're bouncy ass motherfuckers.
Science.
Learn you something.
So
I
we
think I
can keep
just
talking
made
about a
myself-
couple of things. Well, if nobody answers, and we'll go into it again here in a little while.
Okay.
So moving on to City.
I am not so words failing my mouth thing right now. The one thing that I didn't like about the transition between Asylum to City is that you go from excuse me. You go from okay, we've left the asylum, and then it's like we've turned half of Gotham into an asylum. Hooray! Don't science at me. I'm a science all the time. Science, 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 science. Bill Nye up in this motherfucker.
Right.
It seemed really like quick. Like it's like the game starts out and you're like Bruce Wayne's pissed off and talking about how much he hates the city setup and he's fighting against it, and then all of a sudden shit hits the fan and he's inside because reasons. I don't even remember what happened. I think it was it Strange's guys come out and they arrested him for no apparently good reason, because in the story Strange was just arresting motherfuckers for no apparently good reason.
Yeah, I don't understand the reasoning behind him getting arrested. I think it was very poorly glossed over because they did a very brief news clip of him getting arrested. I think it was more of a like he surrendered himself for some weird ass reason just to get himself inside the city.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is very Batman-y. So, yeah. But I thought it was interesting that it did go from being just the asylum to it being Blackgate. The entire city. It essentially took. It almost said, "Okay, we're gonna take Batman, the first Christopher Nolan Batman movie, and then we're gonna make a video game of what would happen right after."
Okay, yeah, I'm following you because of the asylum break.
Right, the asylum broke out. The island itself became completely overrun, and not just the asylum; it was a city. And they hit the drawbridges. Nobody could get in or out. And that's exactly how the game was formatted, because you're relegated to Arkham City, not Gotham. Interestingly enough, at night, when you're relegated to all of Gotham, you can't get into what was Arkham City.
Or even out to Arkham Island.
Yeah, it's blocked off completely.
But
you go,
did you notice that I think it was in night, if you look out at the asylum, or it might have been in city, you could still see Ivy's vines coming up and around the old asylum.
I'm not surprised. It's probably all Ivy keeping the thing locked down. So I don't know, but I thought City, with the intensity of not intensity, but with the breadth of the game, its size, I thought it was good. I thought the story was good. You did have to travel to quite a few different places, but it wasn't that difficult. It was still relatively close enough to be able to get from one side of the map to the other very quickly. The one thing I didn't do, which I'm willing to bet you did, was all of the Azrael stuff in City.
Yes, which I did, because I find Azrael's character, not that I know too terribly much. I know that he was introduced as a anti-hero villain in the comic book series prior to Nightfall, which was the series where Bane broke his back and killed him, which we all know. Comic books, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Coulson thing stuff, living. It was a character that was introduced so that when his back was broken and Bane had won, Azrael basically took up the mantle of Batman during that particular period to fight in his stead. So it's kind of one of these things where it's like I wanted to get as much story from it as I could in a medium that I was already interacting with. Unfortunately, the Azrael stuff in City was pretty much bullshit. Basically, it was just, he is here, and here. Go and find him. And then at some point, you have to draw this thing on the map, and then it like gives you some other stuff, or it shows you one final place to go meet up with him. Once you go meet up with him, he tells you Gotham's going to burn, you're going to die. See you in the next game, deuces, and just, you know, takes off.
That's like the worst foreshadowing I think I've ever seen, because it was too. I scoured that city and it was too difficult for me to be able to find him. So, and I don't know, maybe I should have just looked it up on YouTube like I did for the next one. So
I Googled it. And real quick, just because I got to, since you're going to bed and you've made it very apparent, good night, Sam. Have a beautiful night. Thanks
Bye-bye.
for coming out and hanging out with us. We enjoy that.
Everybody watching, drop a like on the video. That would be great. Thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
But I mean, all in all, I thought the Riddler stuff got a lot more intense in City as far as gameplay is concerned. I know it was being the second released game, it wasn't as bad as Origins. Origins was nuts. And Night is I'm just not.
Fuck.
No, 243 trophies. No, not no. Fuck you.
We'll get into that here in a minute. I don't even know if the trophies were needed to be able to get the proper Nightfall ending, but we'll go with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that in the goat ass. All right, so sticking with City, one of the things that I did that really pissed me off about City is when it came out, there was this. It was during the time frame when game companies were doing this. Here, we're going to put a code in the game so that you get a certain little bit of DLC, so that if you buy it used, you could spend $10 and get that same stuff. So this was Catwoman for this one. Deathstroke was actually the code that was in Origins, but it was before they stopped doing that kind of shit. I bought it on PC through Steam, so of course buying it as a digital version, I got the Catwoman stuff, but they made it sound like it was such a big chunk of the game when in all actuality the Catwoman sections in City were so minimal that they didn't need to exist. I mean, really, the only thing that they did was set up the next scene where Batman would have to come and save Catwoman from some bad guy. Or it's just like, for lack of a better term, whenever you're reading a book and there's that chapter that's only like 2 or 3 pages long instead of the 20 pages as everything else, that's all it was just a little filler.
Yeah. Yeah, and I felt that her entire plot line was filler, to be honest.
I do think though at the end, after you beat City and you get to that spot where you could switch them out and they've got their own trophies to collect and things along those lines, that's cool. That's neat. That's interesting.
I want to know, so that's fine. I think it's good for a gameplay ability because, I mean, you know me, I'm always down for additional gameplay stuff. I'm down. I mean, everything comes down to being a grind at some point, and I'm always down to sit there and run around and do random shit in whatever video game I'm playing. I do think, though, that it needs to be more, for the Batman series, it needs to be more than just Catwoman.
Yes.
It's all it ever is just Catwoman, and Robin, Nightwing. Come on.
Deadpool.
You've got more characters in this universe that you can utilize and bring in to boost your gameplay replayability, especially in the fact that Robin had his own additional side DLC pack that came out in City to play, that took place at the end of City. Speaking
of which, I want to talk about that too, like in great detail. But real fast, I got to take a second. DeMarcus. There is a Deadpool game. There has been a Deadpool game. It was available on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 and PC.
It's hilarious.
It's very repetitive, but it is very hilarious. It's currently in my Steam wish list because I want to get my hands on it, but it's kind of also one of those ones where because the movie was announced, I think it was Activision that owns the rights to that game. They put it back out at like a $40 price point when that game is quite a few years old, where it should be at like a $20 price point. But the movie is created hype that they're writing for that game. But yes, there is a Deadpool game out there. And hopefully you're not speaking incorrectly like Ryan did earlier and you're not meaning a Deathstroke game, because as soon as there's a Deathstroke game, everybody will know, because I will do nothing but stream the hell out of it and post video of it everywhere, because Deathstroke is love, Deathstroke is life, and other weird Shrek statements. Why did he get up and walk away? I need ice. Okay, so he got up and left without me acknowledging him. So I'm going to have to ramble on here for just a couple of seconds while he gets ice for his key. But yes, Deathstroke or Deadpool. Deadpool does have a game. It's a third-person actiony, shooty, slashy, stabby type of affair. If you want to see what the game kind of looks like, and you're not against listening to an Irish man screaming and yelling, look up Jacksepticeye plays Deadpool. He did a full playthrough of the game. You can at least see a little bit of it so that you can kind of get an idea for how the character is done. It is Nolan North. You're right, Deathstroke is life. Nolan North does the voice of Deadpool in the video games, even in the Marvel Lego stuff. He does a really, really good Deadpool, in my opinion. And if they didn't get Ryan Reynolds to do the Deadpool in the movie, which they did, I was going to petition that they get Nolan North to at least voice him in some way, shape, or form. Because you could always have someone act as him, much like the Spawn movie. You can always have someone act as him, but as soon as he gets like cooked, you can then just basically CGI animate him and do the Darth Maul or the Darth Vader where somebody else voices the fucker as that fucker walks around doing everything else.
Right.
So where were we? We were talking about City. We were talking about Catwoman.
Talking about the Robin pack that takes place after the end.
Bingo. So throughout City, there's a particular place where you see where the Joker kind of comes into play. Now we're gonna have to get into some deep spoilers about the end of City here in a minute because we have to do that before we go into Night because of what Night is all about. In City, if you're looking around in that particular base where the Joker was hanging out, you will find Harlequin's suit from Asylum on a like mannequin type thing, not with the head or the arms or anything. It's like the sewing mannequin. And at the bottom of it, on the ground, there's a pregnancy test that says positive. Yeah. So that's why when I bought City, I wanted to make sure I got the Game of the Year edition so that I could play Harley's Revenge. Now, sorry, I'm just looking back to make sure my roommate is not within earshot as far as I could tell because he didn't want spoilers for this, but has decided
to walk. He hasn't played any of these?
Any of these. And he's been walking around in the house while I'm talking about this, so it's at your own risk now if you're still here. Yes, and I didn't mute myself at all.
Yeah.
So after the most amazing boss fight ever with Clayface, and I'm sorry, that was an ingenious boss fight after the two boss fights that we had in the last ones where it was big guy running at you or big guy knock me down. Clayface has always been one of my favorite bad guys in Batman. Has always been, ever since the animated series when I saw him for the first time. Same with Two-Face. The Two-Face in the animated series was fucking awesome.
I wholeheartedly agree.
The Two-Face and everything else just hasn't matched up, except for the Two-Face in the Christopher Nolan stuff. Yeah. He was just as psychotic as the one in the cartoon, but the cartoon one was a little low-key comparatively.
Geared towards kids, audience.
Yeah, which made him seem like the more methodical villain, you know, kind of like Kingpin from Daredevil. If you guys haven't watched that on Netflix, go ahead and sign up and check that out. It's really good. Netflix, I'm waiting for a free month. Let's do that. Go ahead.
I can't wait for Jessica Jones.
Oh, dude, I can't either. I haven't even seen the trailer for it yet, but everything that they've done so far, just with Daredevil, I'm stoked about seeing that. I've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. finally, and I'm halfway through season 1. Oh, okay.
You almost spilled the beer.
Oh, yeah, I got that right up to the top.
Nice pour. So gameplay wise for Harley's Revenge, I enjoyed it. I did think it was very light because it's all in that one room. But I thought it was extremely difficult from a strategy factor. I mean, you could pick a couple of different areas to begin when you're clearing out that room. When she's just walking around, and to do it right, it's going to take you 20-30 minutes just hanging out if you're going to do it all sneak like, because you can't, Fungosity, you ain't gonna like this. You can't run and gun into that shit and just take bitches out.
What seriously pissed me off about that fight, I'm trying to remember if that had to be this fight that I'm thinking of, is I got in there and through most of Origins, Asylum, and City, if you had like a pseudo boss fight where you had that boss walking around the predatory environment with other guys, if you took out the boss, like I think Two-Face had his fight like that in City, if you took out the boss, then the fight was over. Well, I fucked up and I went down at one point and got Harley, knocked her out, and still had two fuckers running around. And so I got back up into the rafters and was like, well, I got to figure this shit out. And one of the guys goes and gets a hostage. Well, in detective mode, you really can't see a lot of the layout if you're just looking from the rafters at this one. So I failed it.
It takes a lot longer to take the bosses out. You can't just drop down and knock them out and call it good. You still they'll have a larger life bar than everybody else. It's very similar to your own. So even if I went directly at Harley, because what I typically would do for this one is you come in, you take the two out that are on those rafters, and you got a choice. You can either break left, drop down, get those hostages free, and make sure you're good because later they're going to be a problem. Or you can break right, and Harley's going to be caught at the end of the bottom of a stairwell, and you can knock her out real quick and then flip over to the other side and get into those hostages and make sure that they're fine and you're not worried about them anymore. I would always break right first so I could get at least some good damage on her, because even putting her down, you still have to put her down 2, 3, 4 times to get her to the point where she's knocked out. And I would always make sure to take care of her last, just because I just like you, I messed up once and I put her out and there were 4 guys still left and hostages got taken out.
Yeah. Well, I got to the point where I got it down to just her and one of the guys. And when it comes down to just 2 people, one guy will go for the hostages. So as soon as he left, I took her out and then refigured my way up into the area where he was holding one of the hostages. Now, one thing that I do want to throw out there, and you can call me a pussy or whatever, is all of these games I played on easy because I was really there more for the gameplay and the story, not the challenge. Harley Quinn's Revenge didn't allow me to set it on easy. So it was a huge eye-opener to have to play it on normal. I still had the notifications, what is it, the little spider senses when I was fighting the people.
The little counter signals?
Yeah, I still had those, but it was different. It was very different. I liked playing as Robin, but it wasn't enough.
The mechanic, he doesn't have as many gadgets. And I find doing a lot of the challenge maps that I do that the moves are similar. A lot of them are the same, but they all have their own different combat flow. What makes Batman more superior is the fact that you can work through, if you look at the Xbox controller, you can work through all the different combinations of buttons for different gadgets, for quick firing on everything. You can zipline one to you. And what I typically would do is I will freeze one, electrocute another, batarang another, zip line to the other one, and then work my way back through everybody. You can't do that with Robin or with Nightwing or even with the Red Hood or with anybody. Hell, I've even played as Harley and Knight, and you can't zip line to anybody. It's kind of a pain. So it's the fact that each one of these characters is that different is nice. It is eye-opening. It makes you think about everything when you go into a fight, whether you're just sneaking up on somebody and you're going to do a silent takedown, or you're going to come up at them and you're going to actually get down into it and get down and dirty. But I do think that Robin is he's a fun character to play as, but I think mobility-wise, he's a little bit harder because he's got a full staff versus where Nightwing has the 2 sticks. That gives him a little bit more quick strike maneuverability to be able to hit multiple NPCs at the same time versus one staff. He can take out 2 and then he's got to hit 3 and then do pretty much a walk around to be able to catch everybody. So, yeah.
Another thing I want to cover with the Harlequin's Revenge, going back to the little Easter egg spotty thing that I was talking about with the pregnancy test, is one villain that never actually manifested throughout the game but showed up, part of him, half of him, let's say, showed up throughout the games was Scarface, or the ventriloquist, if you will. It is for me too. the doll showed up in, at least in Night. It was in one of the GCPD things. The doll was in a couple of the other ones. Now, if you guys don't know who the ventriloquist is or Scarface, it's actually a guy, a very introverted guy, and he created this particular doll, his ventriloquist doll, that is Scarface, and he uses the doll or his multiple personality to be the villain that he wants to be. So in Harley's Revenge, if you go back to that same spot where you saw the positive pregnancy test, after which we haven't touched on this yet, so prepare thyself, gigantic spoiler coming up. After the Joker dies at the end of Batman Arkham City, that's right, he dies. He dies. He dies. He loses. He dead. After that happens, and you go back to that spot where you saw the positive reading, there's now like an old-timey crib rocker bassinet type thing, and it's got the Scarface doll painted up like Joker in it. All over the ground are negative pregnancy tests. She had a false positive to begin with. But then again, that raises a question about a character that I've just seen pop up in the comic books, the daughter of Joker, which I'm probably going to have to look into. But that has nothing to do with this because she didn't show up in any of the games. Look at my fingers go. Not the reasons.
Yeah. So since nobody has actually answered yet, I put the link out a couple of different times just now again. We're going to go ahead and ask the question again, and we're going to get a little bit more specific because this might help some people. Again, the original question: to win a copy, a pre-order version digital download copy of Halo 5 to include Spartan Assault, which was the mobile port. We went over that. You can rewind if you'd really like to. What was the Easter egg, the hardest to find Easter egg in Arkham Asylum? What room was it in? It was in the warden's room, right? Warden's office?
Yes.
Okay. It was located in the warden's office behind a wall that did not show up in detective mode to be destroyed. If you played these games, you understand that going into detective mode is essentially an X-ray version. Show walls that can be blown up or crash through or whatever the case may be. So again, the question is, what is the Easter egg hidden in the warden's office behind the wall that you do not see in detective mode but can blow up?
And with that question being asked, I have another question. Where are these beer-boiled brats hanging out at?
Not anywhere local.
Motherfucker, don't tease me with foodstuffs of greasy variety.
With alcohol.
I've already been drinking.
Well, I mean, he's got alcohol, greasy foodstuffs.
Alcoholic greasy foodstuffs. Those are the three main food groups: alcohol, greasy, and foodstuffs.
Yes, I would completely agree.
So overall, I would say that now going into the actual story of City, I don't know, man. It's kind of one of these things where they tried very hard to do a switcheroo. Where going into it, you're supposed to believe that what the hell was that doctor's name? Shit, the booze. What the hell? What the hell was his name? Hurry up! Look, Google.
What?
Fuck, the doctor. The doctor.
Restate whole question.
What was the doctor's name in Houston? Houston is not the... Oh, duh. I'm drunker than I thought I wasn't. The doctor that was the big... That they led you to believe was the big bad guy in City.
Strange.
Doctor Strange. That's it. Thank you. So they led you to believe that Doctor Strange was kind of the big bad guy in the game. And I'm not saying that he isn't the big bad guy, but they also kind of worked Ra's al Ghul into it, and Ra's al Ghul, however you want to say it, which I don't understand.
Okay, hold on. I don't understand why there's a difference in people saying Ra's or Ra's. It's like, pick one.
I say Ra's al Ghul, but that's because that's how I've always fucking heard it.
I've heard it both ways, and I've even seen it written different ways, and that's why Raish actually exists. I've seen it written with like a CH or with just the SH. I've seen it written with the RA apostrophe AS or just RAS. It's so many different interpretations of the dude's name. I get that he's old, but come on. I would like it if we could get a legitimate Frank Miller truth. How do you pronounce Raz or Ra's al Ghul?
I don't think
Fucking
Frank
tell
Miller,
me.
I don't think Frank Miller created that character, if you ask me.
I don't know. I'm just throwing shit. Maybe not.
What it did?
Google.
Yeah, Google. I'm not gonna. I'm too drunk. So, but it is one of these things where I thought that was a really interesting thing to go into it, because part of Arkham City was the Joker trying to find a cure for what he did to himself in Asylum with the Titan formula, and at a certain point he injected Batman with his own blood to get him sick so that he would actually create the cure to fix everything. Near the end of the game, of course, again, here we go, spoilers. If he creates a cure, is able to administer half of it to himself, and before he can give the rest to the Joker literally stabs him in the back, causing him to drop the rest of it, and it shatters. So the Joker dies because of his own means. The Joker doesn't die because of Batman's ineptitude.
Which is so fitting. It is complete. It's not Batman didn't save him. It's not Batman killed him. It's the Joker essentially killed himself because, yeah, he's the Joker. I do like, though, that it was Mark Hamill for the voice.
Yeah. No, let's be specific. That was only Asylum City and Night.
Right.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Origins. Wait, he didn't do Origins?
Nope, he did not do Origins, and the other guy, which his name eludes me at this particular moment, did not do Batman. I want to say it was Troy Baker that did the voice of the Joker in Origins, and I didn't think it was too bad.
Okay, hold on. We've got somebody asking about the question, which I think he's probably going to be the one that wins it anyway, because we've been talking about it for a little while. Again, the question is, what is the hardest to find Easter egg in Arkham Asylum that was in the warden's office? What, to even get more specific, what did it allude to? There is an Easter egg inside the warden's office in Arkham Asylum. What was it, and what did it allude to?
You can also say the last Easter egg found in Arkham Asylum if you're Google searching it.
Yeah, if you're Google searching, but that involves a whole lot of YouTube timelining. I mean, that would take people another hour, and we're not going to be on for another hour. Maybe.
I don't know. Night's got its issues. We may be talking for a while.
I don't know. I've got the plenty. Yeah.
I've got 12 more of these. I can. Oh God.
I will fire up Night and share a screen, and we can work this.
Yeah, right.
So that was a question. But I don't know. As far as City is concerned, I thought it was a good game. I went back to it consistently while it was still out when I didn't have anything else to play. It's funny. There were people who said they actually enjoyed watching me play it if I was ever playing over at the house, just because it felt like it was more movie-esque than typical video game.
Oh, that reminds me of Metal Gear. Well, Metal Gear Solid to be more specific.
Yeah. I haven't played a Metal Gear game in ages.
I'm telling you, dude.
How's to take a...
Well, yeah, you know what? We need to take a quick break, because here in a second I'm going to have to pee before we transition into Night. Real quick, I have been playing Metal Gear Solid 5, and if you guys have ever played a Metal Gear game, I strongly recommend at least playing that. If not, at least touch Ground Zeroes. It's a very decent game. Unfortunately, I can't offer up my copy to lend it to anybody because my copy is digital. It's one of the only digital games, full digital games that I have that wasn't like a freebie that Xbox or Microsoft gave out to us. I need to watch what I'm saying, because that thing will kick on if I talk too much about it. I love you. Stop staring at me with your Connect eye. It's very interesting. Snake is very not so chatty now that they've got Kiefer Sutherland doing his voice. I think he was in the office for all of like 20 minutes to record everything. Because seriously, I've heard the most I've heard him say, like over and over again, is "whoa" and "do it," which is me stopping my horse and telling my horse to shit on the road. All the other exposition has been done by Revolver Ocelot. Excuse me, Revolver Ocelot and Kaze Miller back at Mother Base. But the game is really fun. I enjoy it. It is kind of going back into my conversation about Asylum when I played the demo for that, how it gave me the heart races. When I played Ground Zero, I didn't have the problem. But now that I'm playing like the full-fledged game, I'll get to the point where it's like you need to infiltrate this base and get this one particular guy out of the base. Well, while I'm trying to do that, I can get all the way in and put all these people to sleep. But as soon as you pick up the dude, there's like where you get to the dude, there's a little cinematic that's like, you got the guy, now get the fuck out. But as soon as they do that, they like reset some of the guys around the hut or the building that you're in.
What is the next Arkham? Oh, uh-oh, uh-oh.
But what does it specifically say on the blueprints?
Come on, Dre. Come on, Dre. You can, come on. You can get there. Come on.
No, I've already gotten quiet. Just to answer that real quick. I've got her. She's not one of my unit yet. She's on my base hanging out in the prison. But again, to state, Dre, give us, what does the blueprint say in the bottom right corner?
You're about to beat everybody in our Destiny clan who's trying to get into this video right now, so you better hurry up.
Come on. I know there's a 40-second delay, and by God damn it, I got to piss.
I'll talk about other stuff because
Okay.
I know that we are going to be getting into Halo 5 a little bit, and I'm actually going to go into my bit about my history with Halo, so you can go on by. So before we get into anything else, when we start talking about Halo and stuff, Halo 3 is really where I got started. I played Halo 1, a little bit of 2. I played 3 when I was on deployment in Iraq. So that was kind of definitely how I jumped in, and really it's what got me into first-person shooters again, because I hadn't played games in so long until I had multitudes of time on that deployment. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Halo 5 is. I played a little bit of Reach. I played a little bit of ODST. Nothing really struck me as come play me all of the time. Just because, why? It seemed like it was just another repetitive game to me. And then, as anybody who's ever watched us before knows, I play quite a bit of Destiny and still do with the Late Night Enforcers Destiny clan, who's currently recruiting, but that was really kind of, it's kept me going on the waiting for the next Halo, because that's why I got into Destiny. I was like, okay, I thought it was going to be the next Halo type game, and it turned into something else. So I'm really looking forward to whoever wins this copy, which is probably going to be Dre. Hold on, didn't it say Quincy Sharp had been planning to build a new prison north of Gotham? I think that he found the Easter egg, Dre. I did not, so we're gonna have to wait till he gets back. Ian, check out the chat. Dre's got to answer.
I read it. I could have sworn that there was actually something more specific that's on the
I don't know.
blueprint.
Do you think it?
What the fuck? Netflix, get the hell out of here. Hang on, because if he's saying exactly what the blueprint says, we're going to give it to him. But I thought it said something totally different.
At this point, I think we're probably just going to give it to him anyway, because he's the only one who's A, answered, and B, is technically got the right answer. We're just kind of looking for something. We're looking for the name of what it's supposed to be. If that doesn't kind of just tell you.
Right? Let's just go straight to images.
It said Quincy Sharp Gotham City proposal. It probably didn't.
There you go. There you go. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for the word Gotham City. So you win, buddy. You got yourself the copy of Halo 5 Guardians, and you get the pleasure of playing the game with us. Now, I'll be upfront with you. I don't expect you to wait for us, because that Tuesday I'm not going to be home. So, I mean, you can play with him, but then you got to start over with me.
Yeah, so the thing is Ian and I are actually going to stream this game. Now, before we just start jumping in tonight, and we start while we're talking about Halo 5 real quick, did you want to go from playthrough start to finish and stream it, you and me, or how did you want to do this?
I kind of figured that we would do our own kind of playthrough because I'm not gonna lie to you. Currently, my day off in the week because my company makes me work every Saturday. Single dad here. Every Saturday. Currently, my day off is Wednesday, so that is the day after the game technically releases. When I get home, I am going to be very hard pressed not to play it.
No, it's already released, right?
Halo 5?
Yeah, didn't it come out on the 20th?
Nope. It comes out next Tuesday.
I thought it came out this past Tuesday, the same day as Assassin's Creed.
No, actually, Assassin's Creed came out on Friday. I lied to you.
What?
Assassin's Creed came out on Friday. I thought it came out on Tuesday because I saw people on Twitch playing it.
Weird.
Yeah, see, it looks like he's going to jump on it the first thing. I just think it should be one of those things that we do together and we don't take too terribly seriously. Because you need to understand that I don't take shit way too seriously. I am a goofball. I get scared when I'm playing Destiny with you guys, especially when we get a group going that I don't like really personally know the people, because I am a fucking goofball when it comes to that shit. I need people to get used to that, because if we get into a raid and I've got like 4 people that don't really know me in there, people are going to think I'm a fucking idiot because I'm screaming and yelling for no apparently good reason. No.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Entertainment purposes. I had a group of people friend me on Xbox because at one point I was playing Left 4 Dead and I started screaming like a girl because the zombies were eating my guts. And that's how you make friends in the future.
Yeah. Okay, I'm actually going to send you a private message, Dre, because I happen to know you on Facebook. So I'm going to.
See, he's backing me. It's not out yet. Hoorah! Don't fucking doubt me. I got all the books. I got a majority of the books. I got all.
I bow to you with your Halo knowledge, sir.
You should bow to this knowledge of Halo. Sorry.
So I'm going to send Dre the code.
Dre, do me a favor. Go to Polygon. There's an article about the download version of Halo 5, possibly a game-breaking bug. Look at that and read through that as well. Here, I might find that link and just drop it into the chat here. My brain just immediately pointed that out to me. I saw that the other day. Hold on. Come on, fucking load. Speaking of Batman Arkham Knight, the PC version is going to relaunch on Steam on October 28th if there's anyone that's been waiting to play that. Ben Affleck confirms he's open to directing the next Batman movie, which go fuck yourself. Sorry, I'm scrolling down through all these. The Phase 2 box set for the Marvel movies is coming out, and this time around it's going to be the orb from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm ready.
Dre, you have now been inboxed your code. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy playing with us, because it's definitely going to be a good time. I promise you that. Yeah.
Okay, here comes the link into the chat of the news article that is talking about message not sent. Remove a web address. Okay, shit, this is not going to work. You need to go to, you know what, I'm going to send it to Ryan, and Ryan's going to send it to you. Because since we just gave you a code, it would be shitty as fuck if we sent you something and all of a sudden it didn't work. Ryan, sending you a link. You take that link and you send it to him. It's just to make sure that we all have working shit, because I'm a collector. I'm stupid collector guy. So I have hard copies of almost every game I've ever bought because I prefer it that way. That's why we were talking about earlier that I would lend someone my copy of Arkham Knight. Ryan, Mr. Moneybags, as I like to refer to him, decides to digitally download everything because why the fuck not?
I have a 1.5-year-old, and I'm not going to trust my video games to not be destroyed. So,
I I have a shelf that's still higher up than my 8-year-old. He can't touch the M-rated games. Cool. We're going to have fun with it. I'm going to be a stupid, screaming mess during the entire thing, so enjoy that. Get some booze. That will make things interesting. Get some booze. We're going to have, yeah. So what
definitely drink while you play with us. That's kind of a requirement.
Have I played with him in Destiny?
You have. This is it's DeMarcus Hodge, but his name is Striking Dre.
Okay, all right, yeah. The guy that pops in at the end of all of our missions and gets credit for them and then takes off. Yes, no, I remember you, Dre.
Oh, man.
It's all good, brother. It is all good. I may have to open up another one of these bad boys before we begin our talk about night. Because I've finished this whole fucking bottle all by myself. I was thinking about trying to get to a buddy's Halloween party after we're done here if it was still going on. I may not drink. Let's just see how this night goes.
Well, I'm drinking.
Well, you keep on drinking. You can't leave the house. You have a 1.5-year-old?
Yep. Who's currently asleep with her mother on the couch.
Wait, what was the wow? Wow, yes. That's you. Don't be hurt. That's exactly what Destiny is. Just jump in, get the credit for it, and get the fuck out. There's too much of a grind. I'm not blaming you. I'm not angry at you. If I had the ability to do it, I would do it too. But
speaking of the Destiny grind, as I've actually put out on Twitter before, if there's anybody that comes across some of the super grindy portions of the current content that's out there, and they just don't have the time, and they're not really willing to put in the time to do it, I'm more than willing to help out. Send me a message. Either I would probably say send me a message on my Facebook page or on Twitter at SleekStealthy85. Send me a DM after dropping me a follow, and we can discuss it. Typically what I will do is charge a specific amount per gaming hour, and I will stream it while I do it so that there's public proof that I played a certain amount of time and you got your stuff. I've done it quite a bit of times for Dre. Actually, I've done a couple of quests for him, and I was supposed to do one today, but got sucked into playing the hard raid, which, by the way,
is it hard?
It is not easy.
Hey, is it porn star hard?
It's interesting. They added a few extra twists into some of the bosses, which I think is good for a difficulty measure. I do think that you need a solid team to be able to communicate, but that's really all you need. If you have that and everybody's on their shit, then it's no different other than the fact that everybody's got more hit points.
And that exactly is the point that I'm trying to point out whenever we do a raid with all these other people. I may not be on my shit. That's what I'm trying to get at. Well, that's why we can't do hard the first time through, because
understand that when we run you through Vault of Glass, we're going to do it on hard because it's going to be on level 30, not 26. And yeah, you're going to be a level.
I'm already level 40, so
40. So
it's not going to be hard.
No, I'm honestly willing to bet that we're probably going to be able to get through Vault of Glass inside of 30 minutes, as long as people listen. Because the only thing.
Every time you say that, the time shortens. The first time it was an hour, then it was 45 minutes, now it's 30 minutes. You are putting way too much faith in my ability to jump on vanishing platforms, okay?
That's the one part that might take a little while. And we recently ran another dude through the Taken King raid up until we got to the Daughters of Oryx, and there's where they mixed pieces of Vault of Glass and other random stuff in the game into this raid. And he is not a good jumper. Dre actually had to run him through.
Did you see that shit? We'll carry you, fiend. No worries. Go fuck yourself a little bit.
Dre, the one thing you need to understand about Fiend here is that he doesn't like being Sherpa'd or backpacked through anything.
No, I know. I hate the term. I'm fine with knowing that I'm being carried through. But when you announce that you're going to carry me through it, I don't fucking want it. Don't say it.
This would actually be the appropriate time if I had the short GIF video you posted or somebody posted with the high-level character running through and you picking up all the loot.
Yeah, no, that was it. Where it was like, what was it? It was Finn and Jake from Adventure Time. Finn goes running through with a sword of lightning that just keeps electrocuting everything, and Jake is just running behind him, just picking everything up that's falling from the bad guys. All right, so anything else on Destiny before we wrap this up with our chit chat on?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't really have anything on Destiny. I'm not doing any streaming. There's no real new content other than not that I'm putting out at this point. Any content anybody can find is already out there. By the time I get to it, it's already get a video on YouTube just because I work a normal job. So yeah, I don't have any more Destiny stuff. So
to recap on Batman, before we dive in tonight, we need to cover the majority of the important stuff that has happened through the other games. Batman is Batman and Bruce Wayne all in the same. Batman was injected with Joker's blood after he had the Venom, or the Titan stuff in his bloodstream, so that's bad. And then you have, damn it, my brain shut down on me for a second. Shit, here we go. So then the Joker's dead. Okay, so that's it. Batman injected with Joker blood, cured himself, Joker died. Here we go. Arkham Knight begins with a Joker in the incinerator. You have to touch a button to get his ass to burn. Pro tip.
It doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you that at first. You have to just play around with buttons and wonder why you're just hanging out there staring at a dead Joker.
But it's like any button you touch will start to kick it, but you have to actually hold the buttons.
And the vibration continues.
Pro tip, real quick, and I'm kind of starting to ruin stuff up front here, but we've already said it's spoilers. If you do a game plus, when you light him on fire, he will actually lean forward and scream.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
That would scare the shit out of me.
I bet you pooped your pants.
No, I didn't start a game plus.
Oh. I did. I don't know if you would enjoy the game pluses because countering is a lot more difficult because it doesn't have the little Spidey sense thingies.
No, I need the Spidey sense thingies. You've seen me try to play like what was the Shadow of Mordor? That fucking shit irritates me because they could just continue to gangbang all on you the entire time.
Rabbit Trail for 2 seconds. And this is going to be a little bit of a plug for another YouTube channel. They have no idea I'm doing it, but Team 4-Star, if you've watched anything on YouTube, especially the Dragon Ball Z abridged ones, that stuff's hilarious. They also have a Team 4-Star gaming channel, and they do two Saiyans play Shadow of Mordor, where they have Nappa and Vegeta playing Shadow of Mordor. I about pissed myself at work watching that video.
It's actually quite funny. It's probably the most I've ever seen of Shadow of Mordor because I suck at that fucking game.
It's funny because they go, "I'm Batman." No, wait, I'm an assassin. No, wait, I'm Batman. No, wait.
I remember what to do here. Dive off. There should be some hay below. Wait. Well, that's not really hay, but okay, whatever. We got this.
Yeah. So sorry. Continue. My bad.
Well, someone showed up in the chat.
Oh, Jaime, look it, yay.
Jaime, I finished what I had in my bottle.
Yeah.
And I'm contemplating starting another bottle or trying to go to a Halloween party as soon as we finish this.
No. No. I think we finish this and we go on and we rip some D.
I don't think so. I don't know. Is it raining? Is it raining right now?
It's not raining at my house anymore. There's a lizard on the window, though.
I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna eat your bucks. I'm gonna lick your face.
Are you thinking of going to the Halloween party that our Super Barley Brothers friend who is not here
that we set up this night for him? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I fucking call him out for that shit?
Wow, man, that we scheduled and
around him
like a month in advance because
and then all of a sudden he can't make it. And I'm stuck with this date, missing out on the Halloween party. Yes, that's the party I'm referring to.
You know what? I don't think you go.
Well, no, it's not his fault.
I know
the guy that's running it, it's not his fault.
Oh, no, I know. It's not Jerry's fault.
No, not at all. So let's get into this so that I can make that judgment call here in about 20, 30 minutes.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah, right? This is not going to be quick, so we say wrap this up.
Shut up, Jaime.
we just more drink. We just started Arkham Knight. So the Joker's dead, and you cooked his ass. So here you go. Now, here's the thing that confused me, and I think you called it out when you were doing your live stream, is I think the guy that did the voice of Doctor Strange in City did the voice of the Scarecrow in Night, if I'm not mistaken. So that led some confusion to me, because the whole game I was like, did Doctor Strange survive Arkham City and now he's Scarecrow? Because that Scarecrow didn't sound anything like the Scarecrow from Arkham Asylum at all, or look like him in any way, shape, or form, except for the weird needly things on the fucking thing.
I don't understand what the change in look was. I do think it got better. I like the way current Scarecrow and Arkham Knight looked. As far as Arkham Knight in general, the playthrough, since I have everything on YouTube anyway, I enjoyed it. I thought the story was good. My one gripe, and I know we're going to get into it here in about 30 seconds anyway, because we all know how great I drive in video games, is the fact that this turned Batman into, I'm driving around Gotham for the entire game.
It turned into GTA Batman.
Yeah, yep. You know what? I can go ahead and agree with that. And especially, there are a multitude of the Riddler challenges that are races or are vehicular in nature. There is one specifically that if you watched my live stream on, you watched me rage out, because figuring that shit out was a pain in the ass.
I think that was the one that I tuned in, and you said, because you knew that I had the game and I didn't want any story spoilers, I tuned in and I was like, hey, are we doing story stuff tonight? And all of a sudden I just hear you go, Fiend, leave. Okay,
oh, no, that was right. When that happened, that was right before they introduced Deathstroke.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
Because you my boy, and I knew that if you saw that, you were going to go, what?
I need to kill this motherfucking knight real quick.
So yeah. All in all, I thought the game was well constructed. I do think that you can figure out very early on that the Arkham Knight is the Red Hood, aka Jason Todd, and you can figure that out within at the first time they bring in the Killing Joke or the Jason Todd storyline where the Joker has killed him or is torturing him at that point. I think you figure that out right then. If you don't, then you either don't know any of it and you're just like, what? Or I don't know.
Well, they did, like, near the point where they're going to like unveil that shit, they start laying it on super fucking thick.
I'm talking the first time that they've got him in front of the camera where Joker's working on him, you knew. And to be honest, I knew before then. I had the inclination before the game even released that Arkham Knight was going to be Jason Todd, because they had a Red Hood story pack prepped as a pre-order download thing with GameStop, or not download, but if it's a pre-order GameStop exclusive as a Red Hood story pack. Okay, I know that the Red Hood is Jason Todd. I know that he's probably the Arkham Knight because, well, he's wearing the same pants and he uses the same guns.
What the hell are you doing looking at Jason Todd's pants, man?
Hey.
This
is judgment free here.
Oh, no. Not between you and me. I'm a judge.
Oh, no. I'm judging. I'm judging.
I will judge you.
So, yeah, no, I mean, I knew that it was – I knew that's what it was going to be.
Okay.
The dude who came in and did the spoilers on my stream didn't bother me with the whole Jason Todd thing, just because I knew that that's what it was. The whole Poison Ivy dies, fucking
I think that was the only other thing. I think it was Jason Todd and Poison Ivy dying was the –
I said something else, and I don't remember what it was because I said ban him.
Well, I had already hit the button at that point. I don't think you saw it. Or, well – there was a 40-second delay, so I, of course, banned him at the same time you were saying ban him. So it was an eye-opening situation. That's why I didn't stream a lot of it, even though I was like, I'm going to stream like as much of it as I can. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck that. the community has already shown that they're gonna fucking shit all over it. So, but one of the things that the major downside to Batman Arkham Knight. Now, Arkham Knight was the first one that I actually really started to do the whole glide.
Batman Arkham Batmobile?
No. GTA. Batman Arkham GTA is when I started to learn how to do the glide properly. Like, it was in City. I'm pretty sure it was in Origins, but I didn't actually start fucking with it until Night, because fuck the Batmobile in the ass.
You understand that that's like a rocket engine, and it probably wouldn't work out.
Turn the fucker off. Jam your giant Bruce Wayne penis inside the jet engine release and just back and forth on that motherfucker. Just make sure that you put on one of them bat condoms, because it's like half titanium and whatnot, so the little flappies that are around the edge of the jet engine.
It's a titanium. It's a trident titanium weave, no lie.
Yeah, there you go.
So, with the glide feature, the Arkham Knight glide feature is a lot more enhanced than the Origins or the City. They made it better, and the more you actually, if you max everything out, you'll get, if you sit in the Batmobile and you just hold that A button and you get the extended charge, you will essentially launch almost probably 600 feet above the skyline of Gotham, and you're good. And as long as you get enough of a dive, you can reattain that height, because they messed with the glide feature on this game because people bitched about it so much from City.
Yeah.
City was good, but you needed to use the grapple gun boost more often than you should have. It was a little bit better in Origins, but not that much, because it was all still very close quarters. Because the area of Gotham that you were in was very, very regimented and secured. Whereas in Night, it's the entire city. Maybe people don't want to drive everywhere. I started flying everywhere, no lie. I was like, whee, dive, beat people up, come back. That's pretty much what it did.
I fucking loved traversing the city through the air. And who the hell's house are you coming to, honey? I know you don't know where I am, because
he wants to come to mine.
Okay, you go to his.
Troll. No.
Troll.
That's his nickname.
So now going into the crux that is the game of Arkham Knight, it's 50% of.
Sorry.
No,
I happened to look at my phone and my trainer was watching, and he said, "What are you looking at Jason Todd's pants?"
See? Thank you very much. I am not the only one with the judgmental view. Thank you. All right.
Oh man, I wish I was wearing an Anytime Fitness shirt, because that Anytime Fitness Allen gym is pretty sweet. I'll tell you what. Anyway, sorry.
Plug. So the crux of Arkham Knight is you go from having this great game that's been honed by now 3 games prior to it. The combat is really smooth. The traversal as Batman outside of the tank moving about is really smooth. The storyline is very intricate, and the fact that they're trying to wrap up a lot of stuff, because it starts by saying this is how the Legend of Batman ends. And in fact, I totally forgot that I wanted to mention this. So after playing through all these games, like I said, in the 3-month period that I did, I finally got to the point where it's like, well, fuck it, I'm going to start collecting the comic books. Well, the particular comic book that I started on, which is Batman issue 41, it's the only mainline Batman series, because there's like 8 different fucking Batmans, because it's like Spider-Man, where it's like the Amazing Spider-Man, the Spectacular Spider-Man, the Fluiscient Spider-Man, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. There's too many fucking lines. I was like, Batman, I'm going to collect Batman. Well, as you can tell, let me pick this back up, take everything back off of it. As you can tell, that's like an Iron Batman. That's not Bruce Wayne in that suit, because
no, that's Batwing.
No, it's not.
Really?
In this storyline, Batman died. So I was like, oh shit, did they actually like take into consideration what happens in the video game? It wasn't until a few issues into the series that I found out that actually the Joker, a few issues before this, killed Batman in a cave collapse. So that just happened to be a strange coincidence, but I thought I'd bring it up. Damn it, where the hell was I going with that? So the Batmobile is a piece of shit. It's fucking retarded. I mean, I understand why it's there for some of the stuff. That's fine. They had to bring in a new mechanic. You always have to bring in a new mechanic into every game to keep things interesting. But if you overdo it with a mechanic that's broken or doesn't work or is not fun, then you break your game that beforehand was working properly and fun.
Well, so, hey, hold on a second. I don't think you can say that the Batmobile wasn't fun, okay? Because there were times where I enjoyed it. I think what made it eventually not be fun was the repetitive nature. I agree with you. You have to introduce a new mechanic. You have to make something else new. I think Assassin's Creed is a good segue into that, or not segue, but a good comparison, because they try to throw something new into every game, but sometimes it doesn't work well. I think in this one, they threw the Batmobile in and they said it's the one feature that they've never had. And so let's give him a lot of it. But they went a little bit too much with it. The fact that they countered it with the ability to glide everywhere is nice, but it doesn't completely erase the fact that it's a problem. There's a large portion of the game when you go through the most wanted aspect that is driving and blowing shit up. And it's a pain. It's a pain. There's a couple of aspects where you got to get in a couple of tank battles that just are almost impossible to do, and I almost raged out doing.
No, okay, so sidebar, I'm going to go ahead and put myself down on the table of judgment. This is going to happen. I will be on the table of judgment. The fight with the Arkham Knight in his fucking tank, I literally threw my chair across the room. And I shit you not, I will show you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as much as I can without this light. This is my gaming chair. This is it. My living room is all back there. It's all couches and whatnot. This is my chair. I wheel myself in front of my 42-inch TV. I flipped the fucker over. I'm talking like Japanese pissed off table flip. It's gone. Because I didn't see the goddamn life bar for the fucking tank in the top right corner after I took out the 4 quadrants. So there I am, constantly fucking sneaking around this damn tank trying to kill him. 30 minutes later, I'm like, okay, I'm going to fucking die or I'm going to fucking kill this guy because I'm not doing this fucking thing again. I look it up on YouTube, and at that point, you can face him down. I didn't know this. 30-minute fucking boss fight with this motherfucker.
Why didn't you just watch my video?
Because I didn't want spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm going to take this time to go ahead and jump to kind of sort of pseudo the end of the game.
There's a second tank battle that I knew you were going to get
No,
into.
this is happening right now. This is happening right now. After you defeat the Arkham Knight, and it's introduced who he is and all that other bullshit, which he's Jason Todd. He's the Red Hood. In fact, I like his suit better when he breaks off his little cowl. Deathstroke comes back, and he's like, I was paid in advance by the Arkham Knight to fucking pick up if he were to fail. That's fantastic. Let's fucking have a fight with Deathstroke. So when this came out, and I finished the main storyline, and I knew that you had to 100% it to be able to see the true ending, I went to GameFAQs and I looked up what needs to be done to defeat Deathstroke. When I found out that it was another motherfucking tank fight with him, I said, fuck this shit. I'm not doing that. I'm going to go to YouTube and look it up because Deathstroke doesn't deserve a motherfucking tank fight. Not the exact, I'm sorry if you guys are watching this and children are asleep, not the exact same motherfucking tank fight that just happened 2 minutes ago with the fucking Arkham Knight. I'm not doing it again. It wasn't fun the first time. Don't make me do it twice on my favorite fucking anti-hero, you fucking piece of shit.
Woosah.
Yeah, very much woosah.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll come pick you up. Let's go to the gym and lift. I think you need to lift right now.
Oh, fuck that shit. They got like 2-pound weights because I could do that. Look at these guns. Look at these guns, son. Yeah, I think it folded inward on itself when I did that.
No, because so for those who haven't watched any of my streams or my videos yet,
Funkosity. Good night, brother. Thank you.
Okay, later, brother. Tell June good night. Later.
And Junior or
June bug.
Oh, June bug. June. I didn't know.
Yeah. So when you popped in on my live stream and I said, get the fuck out, it's because I thought Deathstroke was going to be a bigger thing than just a voice in my ear in a tank battle. When that happened, I was streaming it, and Cynthia, who's not here right now, Steadiest Rhyme, she was watching, and we both were like, do we tell Ian or no?
No.
We were kind of torn because we understood the philosophical concept of, I know how bad he's probably going to break stuff if he actually plays this, and if we don't tell him now. And then at the same time, we understood that you didn't want to know anything. So it was kind of a toss-up. Very similar with the Red Hood fight. It wasn't a fight. It was dodging Jason Todd sniping at me, and me beating him off of a gargoyle into the ground.
Phrasing. You just admitted to staring at Jason Todd's pants, and you admitted to beating off Jason Todd. So,
I said beating him off of a gargoyle.
You know what? We're going to go ahead and just take out the gargoyle. And we're gonna question and we're gonna judge you from a distance.
This is why I edit the videos and you do not.
Oh, I can go grab it real quick before you have a chance to do anything, and I will just keep in the innuendos and cut your little shit so that it sounds like you are digging on Jason Todd's batarang.
Is it really a batarang? Is it?
I really hope it doesn't hook like that, because that motherfucker needs some medical attention if it hooks like that.
Now who's talking about something he shouldn't be?
I don't give a fuck. I will talk about a man's penis. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not trying to hide behind it. I will stare you at the pants, in the pants. I will look at your pants. Don't show me your pants. Oh, I'm going to need to pee soon, so you need to get on a rant so that I can take a second to run away.
Oh, man. Okay. I think we're probably getting close to being done. But as far as the Arkham Knight goes in general, go. If you need to go. Okay. I enjoyed the gameplay. I enjoyed all the storyline. I did think it was interesting that you had to do multiple things with the Batmobile and drive all over the city, even with the main story. So the main story was drive here, take care of this in this general area, hunt all this stuff down, then go way the heck over here and then come back. Do these 4 tank battles and then come back here. Drive every time you pick somebody up who is on the most wanted list, which is your giant list of people you had to catch and put into the jail. Because for the way the general story worked is Scarecrow is about to let loose a fear toxin. You have to stop him. That's the main story. You're stopping Scarecrow from basically having Gotham tear itself apart. He emptied the city for the most part, to where it's only the bad guys, Batman, and the cops, and that's it. So you're picking up bad guys the more you go. You pick up multiple people. So you'll pick up like this weird cult preacher dude. You'll pick up Poison Ivy at some point. You have to go pick her back up from the thing from the police station because she needs to help you. Who else do you pick up? Firefly. You have to catch Firefly.
I never finished.
Kind of a bitch. I actually finished Firefly because I made it a point to do it. You have to pick up the Fire Chief, which is a separate part, yet slightly intertwined with Firefly. He actually helps out Firefly. And I found out in a weird order because I picked up Firefly and then I got the Fire Chief backwards. So, yeah. So, but eventually it gets to the point where the fear toxin gets released and you have to stay above the street level for a certain amount of time. And then you can drop down, get your Batmobile. You have to, while being poisoned, change out a little bit of the core inside of your Batmobile to get in it so that you don't, kill yourself with fear.
Well, I think we've glossed over one of the best parts of this fucking game. Now, again, as I've said before, is that door about to open? I'm going to freak my shit because I'm about to spoil some serious stuff for this guy. The best part of this game
is his own fault now.
Batman is going crazy this entire game.
It's awesome.
The Joker is everywhere, hanging out on strange places. Like they're
rooftops?
Yeah, like rooftops. Man Bat's storyline made me scream like a little fucking girl when he showed up for the first time.
Oh, yeah, when you first caught him?
Yeah, and then he pops over the edge and screams in your face, and then the Joker did that the second time? Oh, dude,
Yep.
I was losing my shit.
That was great. I did think that the best part, I do agree that the best part of the game was that Batman was going crazy, that he was turning into the Joker the whole time until the end. Another spoiler alert. Here's the end of the game. So at the end of it, when you go into Scarecrow catches you, you actually give yourself up. Scarecrow takes you. He releases the fact that you are Bruce Wayne. He injects you with fear toxin. At this point, reality kind of pauses. And you go into your own little scarecrow type reality, fear reality, where you're essentially confronting the Joker in your own mind. Because the entire storyline with Batman is that the Joker is his ultimate nemesis. Batman is nothing but order and rules, and while breaking those rules to uphold the rules, yay, hypocrisy.
Yeah.
While Batman and Bruce Wayne, they're all order, structure, box. Joker is chaos. You throw a bag of coins and you just let it go where it goes. They're complete opposites. The fact is that Bruce Wayne is fucking crazy. He's nuts. He's always been nuts. He's a traumatized child that went insane, turned into a ninja, and said, "I'm going to wear a bat costume and fight people."
Mm-hmm.
That's what he is. There's no denying that. He's awesome. I'm a fan. I love the guy. Greatness. Moving on, he walks through this little pseudo world in his head where he's got to fight the Joker. At some point, you actually become the Joker inside that world, and you're wondering why everybody forgot about you. You get into this part where you're blowing up statues of Batman that constantly respawn all over the place, which I don't play scary games.
That scared the shit out of me. I'm sorry. That scared the motherfucking piss out of me.
Ian plays scary games. I don't. I jumped consistently every single time that stuff came up. It was constant. Something would pop up in front of me, and I had the camera on me at the time. I don't jump at stuff. I've been on 2 deployments. I still jump at stuff in video games because I get into the story. I get engrossed in the story, and I become a part of the world, and that's what it does to me. So at the end of the game, you end up locking the Joker away in a vault, and you put him away. That's Batman beating him, essentially. He comes back. He tells the Scarecrow, "Oh, you a bitch." Scarecrow stabs him again, and he just kind of looks at him like, "And can I have salt with this margarita, please? Thank you."
Yeah.
That's essentially what happens. And then the Red Hood frees him. And then, yeah.
So bullets ex machina hits the right spots and frees him.
Well, I mean, it's not hard. He's probably like 50 yards away, and it's not a hard shot to make. So,
yeah, with a 9mm pistol that's been adjusted to become a sniper rifle out of nowhere.
He can detach them. I'm not going to get into the mechanics of how that could potentially even possible. No. Just no.
That's all I'm going to say about it. But yeah, so it boils down to the fact that now everybody in Gotham knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. It is out. That is the thing. And even Gordon comes out and is like, "Hey, okay, so what are you going to do now?" And he's like, "Well, Gotham deserves a hero for one more night." And this is why they state that you've got to 100% the game to get the true ending.
I'm going to go off in a second, but I'll let you finish.
Now, here's the point where I'd like to go ahead and state that we are about to spoil all of the ending of the game. Now, granted, all the way up to this point, we've been spoiling shit left and right, so this should be no surprise that we're about to spoil more of it. But we are about to get into the 100% version of the ending for this game. It is one of these things where once you do, you activate the Nightfall Protocol, which is something that he will call for after capturing Scarecrow. Excuse me. Once you 100% it, now you can do this at 70%. Once you've captured all the people, but you haven't done all the Riddler trophies, you can do a trigger of the Nightfall, but it won't have the full ending. Basically what it is that the Batwing flies back to Wayne Manor, and there's news people and everybody all over your fucking front yard. Not inside your gate, but they're all over everything out front, and they're waiting to praise you, chastise you, fucking burn you at the stake for being a witch, all this other stuff. Vicky Vale's there, which the fuck?
You've apparently dated Vicky Vale.
Well, yeah, no, you have, because if you go back to the Tim Burton movies, which apparently is canon in this, that happened.
You're right. My bad.
I wish I had dated Vicky Vale. Sam's not here, right?
No, she's gone. Well, we'll find out in a second if she's
yeah,
gone.
we will.
You can watch this later. You are done.
I was in fucking grade school when the goddamn movie came out. So what was I saying? So you enact Nightfall Protocol, which basically means you see Bruce Wayne get out of the Batwing with the cowl off, but he still has the hood and everything, or not the hood, the cape and everything. And he goes walking into the front of Wayne Manor, and shortly after the door shuts, the whole fucking mansion explodes, or at least the front half of it just boom, exploded. What happened? Bruce Wayne's dead. Everything's
this is
gone.
how Batman died.
That's how the Batman legend ends.
So, okay. When we were talking about 100%, sorry, I was looking at the chat for a second. So we were talking about 100% of the game, because now that Ian has essentially provided the original, not true Nightfall Protocol ending, but the main ending. The true Nightfall Protocol is to fear Batman. So essentially, Gotham is completely laced with the fear toxin and will permanently be laced with the fear toxin. While Bruce Wayne never comes back as Batman, somebody stands on top of a building, and all the criminals are now afraid of the thought of Batman coming back. It's just a fear in their head. Now it becomes the Batman fear monster. That's the true 100% ending.
There are so many fucking theories about the fear Batman at the end of this thing that it's not. It's hard to explain what's going on. If you do like a YouTube search for like the 100% ending, like explained, there are so many different people that have different outcomes on this. Like part of it, one of the ones that I heard was that Azrael is actually the new Batman, because part of his old suit back in the day was fire play. Like his sword was covered in fire. Or
I think it depends on. I think you can only say that if it depends on the ending that you choose. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, because the Azrael stuff in Arkham Knight had two paths to go down once you did it. Basically, his stuff. Sidebar. His stuff was, for lack of a better term, challenge maps, because he was like, look, you're becoming an old motherfucker and you're going to need to be replaced soon, and I'm here to tell you that I'm willing to replace you. So you have to do these little challenge beatdowns without getting hit ever at all through the entire thing. Luckily enough, I managed to get through those because, again, I really wanted to see the end of the Azrael fights. And
those turn into a side challenge map, by the way.
Oh, I know. I've been back to it numerous times because there's no Deathstroke challenge map, which, you know, if they do DLC for that, I'll spend the money on that. But I've gone back to that. It is one of these things where at the end of it, there's a whole little story bit that I'm not going to, I know we've spoiled a lot, but this is kind of an interesting little thing. You're given two choices at the end of it, and depending on what you do depends on Azrael's outcome. Either Azrael lives or Azrael dies, depending on what you choose, because at a certain point you do play as Azrael interacting with Batman. And that'll make more sense when you play the game and or if you play the game. But the only way that Azrael could have possibly been the Fear Batman is based on the ending that you chose during his side story. But again, it's just a theory. So it's really hard to say what it is, or if it's maybe Jason Todd got a hold of some of the fear toxin and is also doing small things of it out. I mean, in the comic books, I wish I had this one to show you. Currently, Jason Todd, Red Hood, is teamed up with Arsenal, who happens to be an offshoot of the Green Arrow, which is kind of like the Red Arrow, for lack of a better term. He could have an arrow that has a little bit of the fear toxin in it. And when you have crime people, wow, bad word phrasing, doing crime bad stuff, they could shoot one of these little arrows down, have a little bit of that fear toxic get out, and then all of a sudden the Red Hood looks like the flaming Batman. I don't know. It's we have to wait and see what Warner Brothers wants to do with the Batman Arkham series from here on out. And fucking by God, they better get rid of the goddamn Batmobile.
I agree. So my gripe, okay? We've talked about the main ending. We've talked about the 100% ending. We've talked about the main story about almost every game. When it comes to Arkham Knight, my gripe about being able to get the 100% clear ending is the fact that you have to collect all 243 Riddler trophies. That's right. You have to run over the entire city of Gotham and collect all 243 Riddler trophies. Fuck you.
Running. And
this is the thing. You don't find that out until after you've actually beaten the Riddler and he goes into a basement because he's a scared little bitch in a mech suit. He's in a fucking pseudo Metal Gear suit.
I didn't know this shit. I didn't look into that because I didn't give a fuck.
No, if you finish the Riddler portion, it's two parts. You'll finish all of his main riddles
with Catwoman,
right? And then you finish a couple more. You get into a fight. You both fight him a little bit. You take him a little bit down in damage, and he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna run." And he goes into the basement inside of that building that you've been in the whole time. Floor opens up. He's in a mech suit, like rah. And he goes into the fucking basement and says, "Solve all my riddles, and then I'll find you." You look at the riddle count. You've probably, on average, most people, by the time they get to this point, if you're an average gamer and you're not a completionist from the get-go, will be at roughly 40, maybe 50 riddles completed, with trophies that you snagged and running around the city and grabbing random shit and seeing them. To the people who have 100% of the game and have taken the time to collect all those riddles.
Yes, very much kudos, because you were the ones that created the YouTube videos that allowed us to watch and see what the fuck happened.
You created the walkthrough. You created the location finding. You did all that. You don't have a job.
Or YouTube is your job.
Or this is your job, which I applaud you.
Let's applaud that again.
I mean,
let's applaud that yet another.
Yeah, it's not ours.
If you could get paid to play video games, huzzah, pat on the back and whatnot.
Thank you for having the content online, because I am not able to do that. And that's what allowed me to see the 100% ending. I'm just not. I'm not going to do it. I think I'm not going to sit there and grind. I like grinding out shit on games. I'll grind shit out on Destiny all day. I'll grind shit out on other games all day. I'm not going to run around Gotham finding little green question marks for days of gameplay. Not just days physically. I mean days of gameplay. That's how long this would take. You're looking at least 2 solid days of gameplay minimum to pull this off.
And that's not only finding them, that's then figuring out how to get the little fucking trophy out of its little box if it's in something that you need to do shit.
Or it's just solving the riddle, because it's solving their total riddles. So it's grabbing the trophy or solving the riddle.
And scanning the environment.
Right. Which there's one environment inside the clock tower that I can't get. I sat there for 40 minutes and tried to get it, and I stared at it, and I kept saying the subject was too small, and I knew what it was. I was staring at it.
Yeah, because it was something about
I get to
something about the history of something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No. No. I sat there. Was like scan. I'm probably. I'm gonna have to go buy a new controller.
You know what it is? You're in the wrong spot. There's actually there's a little switch that will drop down, and you'll see Batgirl's outfit, and you got to scan her outfit.
Oh no, it's not that. There's a different one.
No, well, fuck.
It's not. So it's not. It might not be the clock tower. It's I don't know. I think it's at the movie theater or whatever. It's with.
No, you're right. It's at the movie theater. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. Because I got the one at the clock tower. Because shit, I just told you how to get it.
I found that one. Yeah, I found that one. So, hey, interestingly enough, we may talk about this sidebar, but it might be good for the YouTube audience to know. All Halo 5 Guardians DLC multiplayer maps will be free.
Yeah, those will be free. I think they're going to do Spartan Ops like they did in 4. Those might be paid for. I don't know. It'll be something that we'll have to wait and see. But with on the heels, on the ankles, on the calves of Killzone, the game that launched with the PlayStation 4, I would think that the main in-house first-person shooter would have to have their map packs be free. But that's not why I'm coming to Halo.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to coming back to Halo. I'm looking forward to a slight break from Destiny. I've done 90% of the content that's available. I do know that they're not releasing any additional DLC until Destiny 2. So there will be minimal stuff that come through in the form of quest lines based on depending on rep or whatever throughout the game. If you continue the grind and you just don't stop, you're going to unlock stuff. And I'll wait until somebody says something about it and I'll go do it at that point. But I'm really looking forward to a different game than Destiny. Now, I am looking forward to playing with you on Destiny and getting you through a couple of things that you haven't experienced yet. And there's a couple other people that have started to play that I want to get through stuff. But I'm looking forward to you, me, and Dre straight up running through Destiny.
Oh, we'll get Destiny or Halo.
Yeah, see, I'm talking about Destiny because
So we'll
running through
Scott,
Halo.
We'll pull Scott into that Halo run because he's an all right dude. Except he didn't show up tonight, fucking dick.
Yeah, they're actually like half the clan has been watching. They're not able to go into the chat for some reason because they're doing it on phones. Getting into the chat on mobile devices can be interesting depending on how you do it. I've never had a problem with it on my iPhone. But I don't know. Not everybody has iPhones, I guess. So
you and your fucking money. Fuck you.
I had this phone since I worked with you.
I don't give a shit. Android for the win, yos. And you can't see shit because I'm a floating fucking head. Android for the win, yos.
Me and my money.
You and your money. Speaking of which, I'm just going to go ahead and throw myself out there. I got to buy the next game to give away because Ryan ponied up all the money for that game. So the next game that gets given away is going to be of my choice. So,
don't you still have a PC game to give away?
I do, but we're not doing that tonight because I don't even know how to get to the code right now.
That's fine. Not a big deal. But I hope we've covered everything that we needed to cover. I can't think of anything extra as far as content-wise for each of these games. I do think sidebar content for Arkham Knight, all the challenge maps encompass everything in the game. So you've got beatdown challenge maps, you've got predator challenge maps, you've got racing challenge maps. Yeah. And if you are a season pass holder like myself,
Droid is the best. I'm sorry. Side note, Droid is the best. Dre's got my back.
You get to. I've played now. If you bought the game, you got the Harley content initially that came with it. If you pre-ordered the game from GameStop, you got Harley and Red Hood, which Red Hood became available for $2 later or free to season pass holders. If you've got season pass,
don't say free. It's not free. You bought it in the season pass.
So
unlocked to season.
So for the Red Hood content, I will legitimately say that was free because if you make it a pre-order exclusive, you kind of have to release it with it, but you don't have to promote it as being a part of it.
What about Nightwing?
Nightwing is additional, so that would be considered paid content.
I thought Nightwing was Amazon's download code.
What?
I thought Nightwing was Amazon's download code.
That would be news to me. So while it's possible, I'm not going to sit here and deny and say it's fake, but it's news to me. But the Nightwing stuff, I haven't played it yet because I was going to stream it, and I know one of our viewers, specifically Steadiest, would really like to see it, so I haven't streamed it yet. The Batwing, the Batgirl stuff is the longest content to date. It's roughly an hour and a half. and it takes place before the game. It actually takes place, interestingly enough, mega spoiler, Harley is in her original animated series costume. Joker's with her, and you have to fight Harley and Joker with Robin at the end of it. But you have to run around an entire circus taking everybody out and releasing a couple of hostages the whole time. I do think that if you were to sell it for, I don't know, $3, it would be worth it. The $5 that it's charged for is probably not worth it, in my opinion. But, like, I wouldn't pay for the Harley stuff separately. If it were all individual and you didn't have a season pass, I wouldn't pay for any of that stuff separately. But the season pass, I think, makes it worth it for it because you get all the content there. It's coming. It's including to the end of this year.
Right.
There's other stuff coming post-November. So, and it's the Catwoman content. They're doing Catwoman. Yay. It doesn't really spark my interest, but for some people it will. So I'll probably play it because I've kind of committed to that. So,
well, I guess you're right about Nightwing. It still only cost me, because I've gone through and I'm buying the actual like story-ish based DLC. Like I got the Harley Quinn because I bought it brand new. I bought the Red Hood because it was only $2. I bought the Batgirl because it's technically story. I bought the Nightwing, but Nightwing was almost exactly the same price as Red Hood. So I assumed with that pricing structure that it was a pre-order bonus through someone. I did do a quick search while you were talking. IGN Wiki for pre-order bonuses does not show Nightwing as being any of them. So wait, hold on. Nope. Yep. Nope. So,
yeah, I've enjoyed the content so far in totality. I think you break it out separately. Harley Quinn is very short. I do think that it's the fact that it's Harley is nice. I think that the gameplay was good. I think it was just short. Saying if you watch me play Red Hood, I raged a little bit because I fucked it up quite a bit, but it was good gameplay wise, especially with his combo moves. His fighting style is great. I enjoy it. The fact that you have pistols you can throw out instead of a batarang is nice. When you get into your beatdown, he takes the pistols from a shooting stance, flips them over to the barrels, and pistol whips bitches the whole time. I think that's cool. I think when you look at start to finish of total content of the Red Hood pack, it's probably worth $1.
which I paid $2 for.
I mean, yeah, you probably should have just released it with Harley for new game purchases and not pre-order. It's not worth a pre-order exclusive. It's not. You've got to have minimum 1 hour of gameplay content if you don't fuck it up.
Here, okay, keep in mind, this is how I view this pre-order bullshit that they're doing, is the publishers want used games to go away. Period. But they still suck GameStop's dick. Like deep, throbbing dick sucks. And so they've got to give them something. So a pre-order bonus that ends up being something that you even claim would be worth $1, that sounds adequate. That sounds exactly adequate. Because much like the DLC pack for, I think it's like Star Wars Battlefront, and now I'm kind of going into an argument you and I have already had. The season pass for Star Wars Battlefront and the season pass for Fallout 4 is one of these things where they've all come out and they've said it's going to be $50 or $30 or whatever. We're not going to tell you what's in it, but please buy it. Which is one of those things where it's like, fuck you, I'm not going to buy it until you tell me what's in it. Like, look at what happened to Batman. Like, I don't mean to talk a whole lot of shit, but a majority of that stuff is Batmobile skins and Batman skins.
Well, a majority of it, you've got some recent releases for Batmobile skins, which admittedly, I enjoy the fact that I can drive around in the original 1989 Batmobile. That's cool. I can now drive around in the 2008 Tumbler if I feel like it. Whatever. You can't use those in the regular gameplay because you can't go into battle mode with them.
Yeah.
So, because I tried it and it said no.
It didn't break?
They're actually going to re-release the PC version in here in a little bit. I meant to post the link in a couple of our groups that we're in, but I wasn't able to. It's on Polygon somewhere.
Yeah.
I saw it on Twitter the other day. They're going to release it later this year, I think by November.
It's later this month. I read the date
October?
actually early in this podcast. I read the date. I'm looking for it right now, so just bear with me.
But I think
October 28th. Sorry, October 28th.
Fine. I think that the overall skin feature, I like that for extra content wise. We've had this argument about season passes. I've bought plenty of them. Okay, straight out, I've just done it. I used to buy them religiously for Call of Duty. I probably won't buy another Call of Duty game for another couple of years, unless it's a Game of the Year edition, and I just feel like I should for some strange reason. But I used to buy them and all their season passes, and that's what got me hooked on it. I would do Assassin's Creed and all their season passes because I was waiting on their content. It was just a religious type of thing with me for some reason. Now, we've all talked about it, and you've heard me say it in a couple of videos. Evolve is the game that burned me and made me go,
It did not burn you, it broke you.
No, it took me to the witch's stake, tied me up, and lit me on fucking fire is what it did. That's what it did. And I thought about re-downloading it a little bit ago just to see new stuff, but why? And that is a game that has downloadable content for $2 per skin. That is stupid. Now, Batman, the Arkham Knight season pass, and all their downloadable content, if you look at it in totality, $30, that's not bad. It's really not. You're getting probably $5 to $10 worth of additional skins in total. And then you've got to look at extra storyline content. That's an additional $10 in totality. Now you're up to 20. You probably look at an extra $5, so maybe $25 it'd be worth it. But other than that, I don't think you could truly say that season passes are a requirement to buy for every game. Again, it's up to the individual person. We've had this argument. Go back to, what is it? Episode 2?
Episode 2? Yeah.
Episode 2? Go watch episode 2, and we don't need to get into this anymore because it'll be another hour that we're doing this.
And I'm not doing this for another hour. Sorry.
Nah, I like you, bro. I got shit to do, and so do you. So,
yeah.
All in all, I enjoyed Arkham Knight. I know you did. In its entirety, I think you did.
Oh, yeah.
So
the absolute entirety, the whole series was an interesting story from beginning to end. All the games in themselves were intriguing, introduced new mechanics. Some of them fucking sucked, i.e. the Batmobile, but most of them were really fucking cool and very interesting. So the games, I would say, if you haven't played through any of them, play through all of them. Put Night last. Just don't start with Night, because of course that's the last one in the story, and if you want to see through the story, which I do, like Ryan tried to help me out when I bought Night and was like, I'm trying to play through all of them. He's like, well, here's a video on YouTube that actually explains the entire Joker's story. It was an hour long, but it ran through his entire storyline through the entire Arkham series, origin to the end of City. So I could have sat down and just watched that and been fine. But then again, there's so much other subtle shit throughout. Like, going into, I think it was in Origins, is when they first introduced Barbara, who ends up being Oracle in Night. Well, Barbara's walking around fine and dandy in Origins. If you don't read the comic books, you didn't really understand from the jump why she was in a wheelchair at the beginning of Night or City. But then again, it does get explained in Arkham Knight.
They actually explained that really well in Night, because that's essentially what happened in the comic books. Is he shot her? So.
Yep. He just walked in and shot her. And in fact, I think he was dressed exactly the same. So,
yeah. And it's, I mean, I thought that they reached out to the comic book canon really well when they needed to for specific points in order to keep fans interested, because they started getting more in depth into the characters. I thought they did well overall for the entire series. I'm interested to know what happens next if they do anything.
They're gonna. It's a fucking cash cow for WB. They're gonna do something with it.
Warner Brothers is gonna take it and go, Money, 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 money.
Splash Damage didn't do a bad job. So
No, it was great. It was good. It was fun. It was fun to play. I enjoyed it. There were times where I raged. There were times where I thought it was stupid. There were times where I was like, I'm going to whoop your ass. Like when you can get the 3-person takedown when you're Batman. That's fun.
Or when you could do like the teammate takedown where you can like switch into like Nightwing. We didn't even cover that. Like there's boss fights and shit where that works in.
Pro tip. If you're doing an AR challenge map and you're trying to go for one of the highest scores possible on the Batman Nightwing challenge map, stay as Batman the whole time. Get your combo multiplier as high as you can physically get it without getting hit, and then switch to Nightwing, and your score will multiply by the number of combos you have up there. I got to about 104 combo streak on Batman, switched to Nightwing, and my score went, wah! And I made Hassan Asuma 42 look like a bitch on that one.
Nice.
Yeah. So other than that, I've been pretty stoked with it. I know you've been pretty stoked with it. I'm really stoked to see what Halo 5 does. I really hope everybody tunes in. I think we're going to multi-twitch it. So I'll, multi-twitch.tv/fiend75002/sleek stealthy85. Yeah.
It'll probably just be you, since you have the ability to where we can hear everybody through the chat and I don't.
I'm fine hosting it. Not a problem. I can do that. It almost makes more sense for us to stay in party chat anyway. So I'll stream it. It'll kind of suck for anybody who wants to see it from your point of view, but they'll be able to hear your content anyway.
And that's all that they really want to hear is me fucking off.
Exactly. And, I think you, me, Dre, I think it'll be really good. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be fun. I hope everybody tunes in. Definitely drop us follows on Twitter. I'm also, all our tags are the same everywhere. Blah, blah, blah. We do this every time. Yeah.
So real quick, before we leave, I want to make sure that everybody knows I found the hero that Gotham deserves. I killed him.
This is how the Batman died.
Yes, he hit the ceiling fan. That scared the shit out of me. Did you see my face all of a sudden just, oh shit, because I heard him go ping, and I was like, where's he going to go? It's going to go two ways. It's going to smack my fucking screen, and shit's going to get fucked up. Or it's going to hit my TV, and shit's going to get fucked up. Luckily enough, I heard him hit the wall on the floor, so we're good. Stupid dad stuff. I'm done. Deathstroke is life. Deathstroke is love. Yes.
Oh, man. Thanks for stopping by, everybody that did. For everybody that watched later, drop us a like, drop us a comment. Tell us what you want us to talk about next time. We're kind of open. We don't have anything planned for the next
There's
episode.
Nothing planned except for like a review of Halo 5. There is nothing planned.
And that one, we might do that one recorded. We definitely want to know what you guys want to talk about on our next live stream. DeMarcus Hodge, aka Striking Dre, props on the win. Good job on the Google research, because I know that's probably what you've been doing for a little while.
Charge up your headset, because when we play this, you got to talk to us, okay? I'm not gonna yell at you with you not reacting to me.
Yeah.
All right. So get your shit.
But as always, drop me a follow on Twitter and on Facebook, Sleek Stealthy 85. Do the same for Fiend at Fiend75002. We're also on Twitch, on Instagram. I know he's on some other things. I don't deal with the rest of it, but hook up with us. Drop us a sub here. Definitely. We do these roughly monthly, if not every 2 weeks, where we do at least a recorded one. Thanks for stepping out.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. These are also our names on the Xbox Live, so find us that way too. There. Okay. Good night.